Hey Summoners, how's it going? It's been a week since a new patch dropped, and whether you love it or hate it, we have some more content coming up. My name is Nathan Ng, and I'll run you guys through the preview of some upcoming changes for patch 11.19. These are subject to change though, so don't be surprised if some of these don't make it to the final product or if additional ones are added. Make sure you hit that sub button so you don't miss out on any future content such as this, and let's go ahead and hop right into the video. As of now, we don't see any system changes, so let's start off with some champion nerfs. The following champions will receive nerfs on patch 11.19: Kennen, Ryze, Sona, Soraka, and Varus. Most of the upcoming changes are intended to target competitive play, with the exception of the nerf to Sona since she's pumping out incredible results in solo queue. After a number of buffs, Kennen is now succeeding in both solo queue and competitive play. He holds above a 50% win rate in top lane and has consistently held a high 52 to 53% win rate in the mid lane for several patches now. In competitive play, he holds a whopping 58% win rate this season, seeing a healthy amount of play in both Academy as well as Premier League such as LCK. Not only is he safe, but he also provides plenty of damage and utility that players can use to heavily impact games. If you fall victim to the power of a safe champion like Kennen, check out ProGuides.com, where we have a ton of coaches that can help you identify the next steps to improve and find ways to exploit picks like these. Now let's go ahead and wrap up the nerfs. Ryze nerfs will certainly come as a surprise to a majority of players. He currently holds a 46% win rate in high elo, but he's heavily sought after in competitive play for his reliable scaling. His win rate in competitive play is no better, but it certainly doesn't take away from his high pick rate and ban rate, denoted by 30% presence this season. That means he's picked or banned in that percentage of competitive games, and notable players like Faker have put in some good work in playing him. In similar fashion, Varus has continued to see a ridiculous amount of play in spite of the minor nerfs that he received. To make sure that he's not too dominant during Worlds, Riot is nerfing him a second time. Finally, Soraka is due a nerf after a ridiculous buff on patch 11.18. She now removes grievous wounds with her ultimate, drastically increasing her impact during teamfights. It's more plausible for her to keep allies alive when she doesn't have to deal with reduced healing. It kind of just removes the counterplay from it altogether. Soraka's win rate has spiked up to 3% this patch, probably a much stronger buff than Riot has anticipated. As a result, we can expect her to lose some power elsewhere, but it was also mentioned that her ultimate will still remove grievous wounds. That change is here to stay. We've covered champion nerfs, so let's go ahead and move on to buffs. Although there were only a handful of nerfs, we do have a numerous amount of buffs coming up next patch. Aatrox, Akali, Cho'Gath, Fizz, Galio, Gragas, Gwen, Mordekaiser, Poppy, Qiyana, Renekton, Sejuani, Seraphine, Sion, and Sylas are all on the list. First, let's go ahead and talk about Fizz, Renekton, and Qiyana. All of these champions received crippling changes recently, and their win rates have dropped significantly as a result. In Fizz and Renekton's cases specifically, the nerfs were pretty drastic. Renekton dropped from a 48% win rate in high elo to 44%. 44% is far too low, and Riot essentially murdered the poor crocodile. The nerf to his stun was intended to lower his power in competitive play, but it did much more than that, and he's due a compensation buff next patch. Fizz's burst damage was also nerfed significantly, and the defensive buffs that he received weren't nearly enough to merit the change as a simple adjustment. His win rate also dropped a little bit more than 2% this patch. The other changes were either unexpected or targeted at champions that don't see as much play as they could. Sejuani, Gwen, and Seraphine have been underperforming for several patches now. In contrast, with win rates over 50%, champions like Aatrox, Mordekaiser, and even Galio easily avoid the bad category and are usually considered okay, at the bare minimum. I expect these sort of champions to receive minor adjustments to help them combat meta picks in their respective roles, while the heavily underperforming ones will receive bigger changes to help them remain relevant. In particular, it looks like the top lane meta will shift significantly as a result of all these buffs. Aatrox, Akali, Cho'Gath, Gwen, Mordekaiser, Poppy, Renekton, Sion, and Sylas all see regular play in the top lane. In particular, it looks like champions that deal magic damage are receiving buffs simultaneously, while Kennen is receiving a nerf. Maybe this is just all one giant attempt at, maybe combating Irelia. But on a more serious note, it should add more variety to the lane that's already dominated by Sett, Fiora, and Camille. The change our analysts are most interested in, however, is for Seraphine. She's been a balancing nightmare since release, or also just a nightmare, often seeing play as a support instead of the mid lane where she was intended to be picked. Also, Sona has been outperforming her since her rework, and any buff in any form should incentivize players to give Seraphine another try. And that concludes the 11.19 patch preview. There are a lot of changes I'm excited for, and I hope that you guys are looking forward to it next patch. Let me know what you guys think about these changes in the comments down below. Also, keep an eye out on our channel because we'll be uploading a video providing the details to the full changes in the near future. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.